Richard Schoenstein is here, Joe Richardson. So, Rich, what do you think of that theory, first of all, and put it in the context of whether you think they got the sentence right or not?
I think it's a possible theory because the numbers work out the way you said. The sentence was longer than I thought it was going to be. I thought, having decided on manslaughter, they would give him something closer to 5 years, thinking he should be punished, but they didn't think it was murder. But the jury took a long time deliberating to come to these numbers, and obviously there was back and forth and a level of compromise here. By the way, that's fine. That's what the jury is supposed to do, right? The jury had a really hard job in this case, deciding if it was a crime and what crime it was, and then deciding on what sentence to impose. And if they took their time and went back and forth and compromised and came up with numbers, symbolic or not, good for them.
So what do you think, Rich? I think Mr. Lane's got to take the stand.
Well, I would think so, too. First of all, it proves one of the edicts I live by in my life: never leave a party after 3:15 a.m.
Let me make a note of that.
That is too late. Get out by 3:15.
Nothing good happens after.
Nothing good happens that late. But it seems problematic for the defense so far. And one of the things in Megan's great reporting is that there was a defense witness that the defense really highlighted in opening statement. This guy's going to come on. He's going to clear up the whole thing. He's going to tell you why Tory didn't do it. And then he comes on and he testifies consistent with the prosecution's theory of the case. And I hesitate to say it, Michael, but it sounds like the defense really shot themselves in the foot with that one.
I knew somebody was going there, and I'm glad it wasn't me.
You cannot promise something to a jury and then deliver the exact opposite. The jury remembers that. So I almost think they have to put this guy on the stand. Of course, as always, it comes down to what kind of witness they think he's going to make. I bet they've practiced that.
Oh, yeah.
I bet they have an opinion about it. We'll see what it is.
So the question becomes, as we look at this video of this model turned accused killer, Rich Schoenstein here, Joe Richardson here. Rich, are you buying it? And does it concern you that she was being interviewed for a number of hours before they dropped this little nugget on her about the death of the person she's accused of stabbing?
I don't know if I buy it yet or not, but let's go to B. I'm concerned about this interview. There's a whole bit before the bit we saw where she hasn't changed out of her street clothes yet or her home clothes. She's being interviewed. She's asking to see her parents, and they're not moving that forward, and they're continuing to question her. And I have to say this for all of America. If you are being interrogated by the police, do not ask for your parents. Do not ask for a hug. Ask for a lawyer. Then later you can hug your lawyer and it will be fine.
Or if one of your parents is a lawyer.
But she doesn't have a constitutional right to her parents. She's an adult. She doesn't have a constitutional right to a hug. She has a constitutional right to a lawyer, and she should have had one in that room. And I'm troubled a little bit because she comes pretty close to asking for one earlier in the interview. She says, "Oh, I want to talk to my dad. He'd be the one to decide if I needed a lawyer," which isn't exactly asking for a lawyer. It's asking for your dad. So
and they should have followed up, too, with the usual question, which is, you don't have to say anything anymore. You can stop. But they didn't really throw that option out there.
No, they wanted to continue the interview, and they wanted to continue it for a while before dropping the bomb that he was dead. And then they brought her back into the room, they let her change clothes, and now they tell her he's dead, and it changes the tenor of the interview. And I have to see the rest of it to tell if I'm buying it, but I am troubled by the way it went.
Right. I see that picture of Scott Peterson there with his hair dyed. When he was in jail, I mean, is there a beauty shop in the prison there? What's the deal there? That's not my question, Rich. My question is, what new evidence could possibly be out there that is going to reopen this case?
I have no idea. But, we have seen convictions overturned years and years after somebody's been put in prison for murder or for other crimes. It does happen. And the system allows a lot of collateral attacks on a sentence, especially if you did come up. I mean, if you all of a sudden got evidence that somebody else did the murders and not the person in jail, we have a system that allows for that kind of evidence to be presented. Scott Peterson needs to have an advocate, somebody willing to take on his defense and to pursue those claims and to bring them to the attention of the court. It appears he has that. He had somebody for this juror misconduct issue, and now this lawyer says they have evidentiary issues as well. We will see. Do I think there's something there? Probably not.
But who knows? They need a Perry Mason moment, where somebody stands up and, admits to having done it.